Next, we speak with Ann Keeley, Democratic candidate for judge in the 20th Judicial District. This runs about 15 minutes.
Ann Keeley, you're candidate for judge in the 20th Judicial Circuit of Illinois, and we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us on the Illinois Channel.
Well, thank you for the invite.
First of all, let's let our viewers know, where is the 20th Judicial Circuit?
Well, that covers 5 counties: St. Clair, Randolph, Monroe, Washington, and Perry.
And you are running on the Democratic ticket?
Yes, I am.
And you have an opponent, so you'll be in the primary on March the 20th?
Yes, there is another person running on the ticket.
For those who don't necessarily follow the judicial branch, and I think for a lot of laymen, we're often confused about that branch of government. What is it that a judge does at the circuit level?
Pretty much anything, but the same thing as a judge. It's a trial courtroom. And this is Milton Morton's vacancy, and his was a full felony docket. So the motions, the trials, and everything were in this courtroom.
Are you going to be hearing both criminal and civil?
No, this is a criminal courtroom, but Judge Barasiewicz has the final call on where his judges are assigned. And that's, at this time, I will be going into Milton Morton's, but it will be final decision with Judge Barasiewicz.
You know, on the one hand, this is the level of government, as I say, many lay people, I think, are confused about the judicial branch, but on the other hand, many people, as you well know, what they want out of government is law and order. They want to be protected in their homes. What is your judicial philosophy when it comes to approaching criminal cases?
Well, for all the 28 years that I've practiced, it's equality, justice, and independence. And those are like guiding principles when I've been practicing. And actually, it's my passion for the law, for people, and the principles of the Constitution that help me zealously protect or represent my clients, and that's what I plan on bringing to the bench as far as that part of the trial.
Tell us a little bit about your background. What experience do you bring to the bench where you elected to be judge in the 20th Judicial Circuit?
I have, like I said, nearly 28 years. I started as an appellate prosecutor down in the 5th District, down in Mount Vernon. Then I eventually did contract work with the Public Defender's Office, Appellate Public Defender's Office. From there, I went to become an appellate law clerk and a Supreme Court law clerk. And those cases on the appellate level were anywhere from civil, the marriage, contract, to death penalty cases that I dealt with.
When you know, we often hear, maybe more at the Supreme Court level, frankly, but so it may or may not apply at the circuit level. But some people say, are you a strict constructionist in the application of law, or are you of the judicial mindset that it is a role of a judge to interpret the law as they see it applied? How do you approach the law when it comes to ruling in that sense?
Well, I haven't been a judge yet. I'm hoping to be. And every day when you're in a trial courtroom, you're always dealing with the laws and the facts, and you do the best to find and interpret it for your clients. You have to tell them what this really means, what search and seizure really means to you, and how it's been interpreted, how it's been used. But I would keep to the principles of the Constitution, and that's what's guided me all the way to here. So.
When were you born and raised in that part of the state?
I was born in East St. Louis, Illinois, and then raised in Collinsville, and now I live in Smithton, Illinois.
And as you have lived and worked in that area, and I'm sure gotten to know it, you have a pretty good feel for the mindset of the people there. What relative to the judicial circuit has it been operating in your mind pretty much as it should be, or is there some different approach that you would like to see brought to the court system?
Well, as you know, I've lived in southern Illinois, especially the Metro East area, and I've heard all the rumors and about how what they consider that there needs to be assistance at the judicial level, and that's what I plan on bringing. I plan on bringing dignity and integrity and trust to that level, and I know that people have been complaining about it.
And when they've been complaining, what aspect?
Well, as I guess you're getting at, is they've called it the judicial hellhole. I don't know. I've practiced there a long time, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the people at the courthouse, the people I work with. I enjoy the many people that I've represented of all backgrounds, all level of backgrounds, and I enjoy it. I can hear the complaints, but I know what I face, and I haven't had any problems there. I've enjoyed it. It's a tough courtroom. It's tough to be there, but I enjoy it.
So as you are running for judge, what are some of the primary issues that you talk to the voters about that you want them to know that are at the heart of your campaign?
That I'm running for the people of the circuit. I'm running for their endorsement. That's the ultimate endorsement I seek. And I want them to know that when they come to my courtroom, that they can expect a fair and impartial hearing, our trial, that they will get the respect, and that they will know that there's not going to be business as usual. There's going to be politics in the courtroom, and that's what I stand for.
When just in the last year, as you well know, and remind the viewers, the state of Illinois has eliminated the death penalty. I don't know, was that something that you had taken a position on one way or the other in the past?
No, I haven't. And working for the judges on the Supreme Court, it's their opinion. I had to draft the opinions on which way they wanted to go, but ultimately it was their decision. I had at one time was looking to be, they call it death qualified as a defense attorney, but then they cut that budget out, so I didn't pursue that end.
As we look at criminal cases in that part of the state, what are some of the challenges as far as criminal activity that you see coming into the judicial system down there?
There's a lot of young kids and all level of felonies going on, and that's the hardest thing, is seeing the young people that are getting charged with very serious crimes. And the legislator has instituted laws that are mandatory enhancements, and could be 25 years, and something that 10 years ago would have been 6. And those are tough issues, and having to explain that to young clients that are doing these things. Granted, there are consequences for their actions, but those are always the tough parts.
We've, as a society, put a lot of the law on automatic pilot. That's what you've mandated, because we didn't like that in different cases over the decades, different judges. It seemed that there was a wide variety of judicial rulings. Some people for the same crime would get a year, and someone else might get 10 years. Is it right for the legislature to be assigning that, or should judges have more ability to apply a sentence as they know all the facts involved?
I think the judges should have more discretion, because they see and hear more things than the news reporter would report. There's a lot that goes on in those discussions, and a lot of the times it's actually between the prosecutor and the public defender that are his private counsel, that they know the real facts of what's going on, and what's appropriate in this case is best, because sometimes there's no hearings, there's just a plea. And a judge doesn't always have to accept it. They usually do go along with it, but after a trial, they have the ultimate decision. And I think the legislators should allow them more discretion, and because they watch you in the courtroom. They watch how your client acts towards you, how you act. And that all goes into what is appropriate sentencing besides the facts and the victims. It's a big area that they have to cover and know about. And I think they should have more discretion.
You know, as we had said earlier, the judicial branch is one of the 3 branches of the government, but the one that probably gets the least amount of coverage, really. So I think we often have the governor covered no matter where he goes, and the legislature gets its fair amount of coverage, but not the judicial branch. Are there any things that you frequently find people misunderstand about the judicial branch that you would maybe hope that they would have a better understanding of?
Well, that's the hard part, because they can watch CSI, Law and Order, and their viewpoints of search and seizure and those principles, your Miranda rights, aren't what they really mean. procedurally how they're applied and how they're used and what it really means, because there's books on this. Absolutely books. Every case we get, if there's a search and seizure or a Miranda rule, it's not that easy. It takes quite a bit of research sometimes to find if there's anything we can do to help them, or if the confession's going to stay in. But it's not what they think it is, and which is always still surprises me. I learn something new about it every day. It's a tough area, and that's where people are the CSI thing, the forensic. A lot of times there is no forensics, and a lot of people don't get that. There is no fingerprint. There's usually just an eyewitness and a confession that'll seal their verdict. But a lot of people don't understand that. They're waiting for that last minute fingerprint to show up, or that blood drop, or see where the blood splatter was. But that's not real.
As we all know in the state of Illinois, one of the reasons we got rid of the death penalty was because we were finding so many innocent people were sitting on death row. One has to believe that there are other innocents in our prisons. When we have, talking of the whole CSI and the science of law, I know there's a lot of misunderstanding, and they're talking about procedures that in some cases don't even exist. But when we have cases where DNA would be used as evidence, I mean, should we be requiring, would you be an advocate for requiring DNA to be taken from criminal suspects who are arrested so that we can create a better DNA base?
See, that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. Usually when somebody's picked up and they've had found DNA at a crime scene, they already get that swab of the mouth to get their DNA. I haven't had any judge deny that to get that swab, and if there's DNA we want our clients, whether it's on the PD side or not, to be cleared, that's where people misunderstand. That's always taken. That's always at the scene. They always cross it. The thing is, it's the experts. How it was taken, and the crime scene, and whether or not you're entitled to that expert. And I haven't had a judge deny any of my clients as a public defender to have an expert to analyze that DNA.
Is your opponent in the race, is that a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
I asked Mary Ann McMurrow, who's the first woman to be on the Illinois Supreme Court, if the law is the law, what difference does it make if you're a woman? And she said it doesn't. The law is the law. What is your answer?
I agree with her. I'm running on my record, and it's not really an opponent. I'm running on my record. I'm not running against anyone. I'm not running.
Well, let's say just the fact that you're a woman. Does it make a difference that you're a woman versus a man? Does that influence your judicial temperament in one way or another?
No, not really. I haven't seen that. I've seen prosecutors as women be just as tough as the men. I've seen women negotiate better, but I've seen men negotiate better. It's more personality. Everyone's different. It's personality based, I would think.
And of course, I'm not asking you in any specifics because you really can't, as a judge, you wouldn't want to be given an opinion before anything.
No.
I mean, I'm saying for the viewer's standpoint. So we can talk just about how you approach the law. Before we close out, why don't you give us an overview of why you should be the individual that is elected to the 20th Judicial Circuit?
Well, I've had nearly 28 years of experience, as I told you. I've been from the appellate level practicing to in the trial court, making the record that the appellate judges read. I have worked both sides of the issue as a prosecutor and as a public defender, and I know that they can expect that they will have a fair and impartial trial when they get there. But I have a deep commitment to the community. I have been involved with I'm on the Monroe County YMCA board right now. I was on my St. Joseph's Parish Council, was president one year, as well as ran their parish picnic and bingo. And I've met so many people throughout that time, diverse backgrounds, and who've asked and have encouraged me to continue to seek the judgeship and be on the bench. They'd like to see me there. And not only that, I believe that the people are entitled to have a choice in a candidate. Not only that I'm entitled to run, but they have entitled to have a choice in the matter. And as I say, the ultimate endorsement I seek is the people. And with my experience and commitment to the community, I believe I am a good choice.
All right, well, Ann Keeley, we appreciate you taking the time to share with us your thoughts on the approach to being a judge, and good luck in your campaign.
All right, thank you.
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois.